Here's a list of my 10 favorite moments in Star Wars. Number 10. The Phantom Menace lightsaber fight. It's no secret on this channel that The Phantom Menace is my favorite Star Wars prequel. It just feels more grounded and on track than the other two. And a big part of why I enjoy TPM more than the others is the high energy duel between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul. It's fast, fun, yes it feels like a highly choreographed dance, but the energy, the pace, the death of Qui-Gon, the tension, and Duel of the Fates playing, all of that makes for a really great, entertaining watch. And compared to the other things on this list, it's definitely fast food. Number 9. The Return of the Jedi space battle to destroy the second Death Star. For the ending of Jedi, and what we all assumed was the finale of the saga, the dials were turned way up. The final space battle to end all space battles was right in front of us, so we thought. An enormous rebel fleet and a ferocious Imperial defense. It's a trap. Lando at the Falcon's controls, the stakes are high, the action is fast. Number 8. The Mos Eisley Cantina. When we find ourselves in the Mos Eisley Cantina, we see the creativity and artistry of Star Wars' creature design at its finest. The audience has time for their brains to adjust to this new weird location. The camera pans around to different alien creatures, the full bar is visible, creatures playing games, laughing, having drinks, and just being regular bar patrons. The Mos Eisley scene really expanded what was possible in Star Wars. It showed the true scale and scope of what this universe had to offer to its audience. Number 7. The opening shot of A New Hope. The opening scene to any movie is insanely important. An opening scene is often used to set the tone of the entire movie and tell the audience what this experience will be like. We all remember the bank heist from The Dark Knight or Indiana Jones grabbing that golden idol in Raiders. Both of those opening scenes set a tone that would last through the entire film. The opening scene of Star Wars sets the tone. A small ship flies over the screen and an enormous ship takes over the frame. Good guys on the run, bad guys in pursuit. A dominating empire and a band of ragtag underdogs. Number 6. Let's blow this thing and go home. The Death Star assault at the end of A New Hope was so mind-blowing the first time that I saw it. Lucas drew a lot of inspiration from both World War II dogfighting footage and World War II flight movies. Now the special edition added a little fluidity to some of the shots, adding new shots altogether, and it's one of the changes I actually don't mind. But the original is just as good. What really seals the deal and makes the entire sequence so believable and intense is the realistic chatter and communication on the pilots' radios. Organizing, strategizing, warning one another of incoming fighters. There were actual consequences. The good guys died. The tension ramped up as the Death Star was in firing position. Luke shot the proton torpedo down the thermal exhaust port and saved the day. We got to see Luke trusting the Force, the trench run, the chase. The entire Death Star battle is fast, fun, and really hard to beat. Number 5. The Return of the Millennium Falcon. The Force Awakens hype was huge. From the trailers, we knew that the Millennium Falcon would make an appearance, but we didn't know why, when, or how it would be reintroduced. But the way they revealed the Falcon was perfect. To us, the audience, the Falcon is a sacred piece of sci-fi film history. To the characters in the story, it's just a hunk of junk sitting in the desert, never flown, covered with a tarp. Rey even calls it garbage. And then the camera turns and we see the Falcon. A few notes of music punch us in the gut, we get chills, and it's off to the races. You know, they could have had it in a hangar with bright lights on it, like some super special piece of the puzzle, like a holy grail, and had music going, oh, but no. Junk to the character, the holy grail to us. Perfect. Number 4. Yoda and Luke training on Dagobah. Before this training sequence, the audience kind of understood what the Force was. Kind of, on a very basic level. But then we were introduced to Yoda, an unassuming character who we and our protagonist didn't really believe was this great warrior at first. The training sequences aren't about swinging a lightsaber. It isn't about tactics or fighting or strength. It's about being at peace, clearing your mind, tapping into the greater power of the universe, overcoming your internal fears, facing your demons. The training sequence allowed us to learn more about the Force and the broader scope of Star Wars with Luke. Number 3. No, I am your father. This one is pretty obvious, right? And I definitely think it's taken for granted. Vader being Luke's father is just a part of our culture. Everybody knows it. But this revelation packed a huge punch. And it turned everything that we thought we knew on its head. Why would Obi-Wan lie to Luke? How is Vader Luke's father? From that moment on, Star Wars got more complex. A family dynamic was introduced. The father and son bond came into play, and it was nearly impossible to see where the story would go from there. The Empire Strikes Back really did, in all aspects, bring a lot of depth to what was an otherwise fun space adventure film. Number 2, Luke, Vader, and the Emperor. Everything comes to an emotional head. The Emperor and Vader are trying to seduce Luke to the dark side. Luke is battling his demons, fighting an internal struggle. This is also my favorite lightsaber fight. I've actually made a video about it. And the lightsaber is barely even used compared to other duels in Star Wars. It's a conversation set to the backdrop of a lightsaber duel. Vader is toying with Luke, trying to get him out of the shadows. Luke snaps when Vader says he'll try to turn Leia to the dark side. He loses control, lets the anger and hate flow through him. All of his pent-up aggression comes out in a fury of wild blows and swings. When Vader redeems himself by throwing the Emperor to his death, thereby saving his son, it is one of the most powerful moments in the entire saga. Vader, the symbol of galactic oppression, has sacrificed himself to put an end to the terror that he helped create. Number 1, the twin sons of Tatooine. It's a simple scene, visually, but when Luke walks out and stands on the mound of sand outside of his aunt and uncle's farm, he's searching for direction. Without a word spoken, we learn all we need to know about Luke's desire for adventure, and at the same time his hesitation to leave the familiar, the safe. He gazes out at the two sons, the two paths, the two directions, the two choices that he must make in his life. Will he stay? Will he go? Will he continue to do what others want him to do, or will he make his own decision and build a life that he truly wants? And I think we can all relate to that. HelloGreedo, out.